A Light Within Darkness Chapter 74, Fan Fiction by Azazyel. Ellesmere was not happy with my idiotic idea to run off on a grand quest to kill Ghazghull Thraka. To say she was unhappy was an understatement, honestly. As the glowering eldar standing in front of me with her hands folded over her chest, and shouting at me, could contest. Ellesmere, we need to get out and do some adventures, honestly. Plus, with us going to a burnt-down Hive world basically, we will be able to grab a bunch of people to add to the sect. I explained, trying to make up an excuse. And the excuse fell flat as Ellesmere raised an eyebrow while she retorted. And when those Hive world humans, who are gang members, psychopaths, or already barely functioning due to being on a world being invaded by one of the armies of chaos? I raised a finger as if to object to her words and slowly lowered it. Gods be damned, why even in a new world, one filled with infinite sorrow and suffering? Still, there was one in which I couldn't win an argument with a woman. But finally, I shrugged, making Ellesmere smile victoriously, but my next words just caused her confusion as I spoke. Alright, Ellesmere, you win. Anyway, I am going to head off to get some milk. I said, turning around and leaving the room, and the flummoxed eldar woman behind looked at my back in confusion. Then, the moment the door closed between us, I ran forward, dashing through the Sect building, dodging disciples and even power-sliding past Isha down a set of stairs, who just blankly watched my antics as I sprinted towards the Sect's treasury. But once I reached the treasury, I saw the unamused face of Ellesmere, who had her arms folded around her chest with her fingers tapping her arm. Drat, she teleported. I thought before taking a breath and smiling winningly as I spoke. Oh, Ellesmere, did I leave too soon and missed something you wanted to say? I questioned shamelessly, and she just rolled her eyes. Jake, infantile games of leaving to acquire the breast milk of a lesser creature will not work on me. Isha has made it clear quite proudly, in fact, that you drink less water, wine, or any other fluid than from the milk of her bosom these days. Ellesmere dryly retorted, and my face twitched at that as. Geez, Ellesmere didn't hold back the punches, did she? Ellesmere, I am going out on an adventure for a couple of weeks. Are you coming or not? I stated. And it wasn't a question. I wasn't playing around anymore, and she could tell with her visibly inhaling to control her outburst before she smiled. No, Jake, getting slashed at by Cornat demons and getting shot at by millions of humans who hate my race after their lifetime of indoctrination is beyond my idea of a vacation. So I will stay here at the Sect as someone needs to watch out for Isha to make sure she doesn't get kidnapped or something. She finished with that same sarcastic smile worn across her face. When you come crawling back, busted apart, hurt, or even mutated from your adventure, I will be here to tell you, I told you so. She said strongly, and with another flash of light, she teleported away, leaving me alone in the Sect treasury and next to the shrunken form of the ship we once rode onto this planet upon. I snorted, muttering. Well, fuck you too, Ellesmere. I am going to come back here with the ship filled with my own blackjack and hookers just to fuck with you. With that said, I quickly used the anti-gravity platform the shrunken ship was placed upon and moved it outside the Sect so it could regrow to take its natural size, and with Ellesmere and Isha knowing I was leaving, I left without any other speech to the disciples and what not beyond leaving a large beacon the ship could use to back to the planet much faster. A star sector away, blood poured freely, red as the lifeblood ichor stained the world and dyed the Hive world's drained or tainted oceans red with the almost infinite flowing blood from the fallen. A glorious Orc's POV of Armageddon at the moment. The sun was barely peeking over the horizon as we, the blood snarlas, descended upon the wretched realm of Corn. Grodlings, ye should have seen the look on dem demons' faces when they saw us, all green and mean, chop paw flashin' and dacca roarin'. Warboss Ghazghull led the charge, his clawed power claw gripped tight, ready to cleave through anything that dared stand in our way. The boys, the savage horde of orcs, followed close behind, each one itchin' for a good scrap. Whack! Banners flapped in the wind, boasting our might to the entire universe. Get the red gits, Ghazghull roared. They crashed through the enemy lines like a whirlwind, roaring like crazed beasts. Dem bloodletters, they thought they was tough. But we showed em what tough really means. My claw ripped through their flesh, sending the dark crimson blood of Khorne flying in all directions. The boys was all around me, chop paw swingin', slug gas blazin'. It was a symphony of crumpin' and screamin'. One of dem's skull cannons tried to take a shot at me, but me mechboy, Scragga, lobbed a bomb at it, blowing it sky high. The explosion shook the ground, and the demons were sent flying like ragdolls. I laughed, a deep and hearty bellow, as the smoke cleared. Khorne, he ain't got nothin' on an orc. But the demons kept comin', relentless in their rage. I smashed a bloodthirster's skull, sendin' it spiralin' back to the warp. Its death wail echoed in me ears, but we didn't stop. What's one demon when there's hundreds more? I wanted a proper fight, a good old-fashioned whack. Where the blood flows like a mighty river. Here are the barely surviving guardsmen's POV. The surviving guardsmen huddled behind the crumbled remains of a shattered bastion, their lost guns trembling in their grasp. They had been pushed back, beaten down, and now they bore witness to a spectacle, unlike anything they had ever seen before. They peered over the broken wall, eyes wide with awe and terror as the clash of the tide of greenskin and demonic forces unfolded before them. Sergeant Kell, his armor battered and scorched, wiped the sweat from his brow and turned to his men. By the Emperor's grace, men, recover as you may. While the forces of the evil slaughter one another, we shall recover and rearm ourselves and prepare to rejoin the battle when our time comes, so we may join at the Emperor's side. The guardsmen glanced at each other, their expressions a mix of relief and exhaustion. They had fought alongside the orcs, their initial disgust having no choice but to give way to grudging, fearful respect at the monsters' morale and disregard for their own lives. The orcs were an enemy of circumstance, a chaotic ally in this hellish war against the forces of chaos, and all the humans were more than willing to step aside to allow the green tide to fight the forces of chaos. As they watched, a towering war boss, his green form a hulking mass of muscle and bionic augmentations, swung his massive power claw with reckless abandon. Demons of Khorne, their blood-soaked blades glinting in the dim light, charged toward him. The clash of steel and claw reverberated through the air as the war boss cut his foes into gory chunks with his power claw as well as his massive, oversized shotgun that, for some insane reason, held dozens of shots in a magazine that should have only been able to hold a half dozen at best. Sergeant Kell, his gaze fixed upon the tumultuous battlefield, sighed thankful that the Inquisitor and other Imperial agents that were attached to his detachment had either died or been lost in the chaotic battlefield. As he had no doubt there would be a bolter round saved for his grey matter should they find he wasn't gloriously dying for the Emperor against the Xeno and Demon.